this lecture here. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm mainly trying to talk about for this web service application project, how do we normally do the development based on this kind of framework? Okay, I assume that everyone already have a framework like this set up. Like in this case, I'm using a Java Spring Boot framework. If I run it, if you remember everything, it's going to trigger this main class file, and then we'll run this application. And then we go to the browser, localhost. On the, we don't have the set homepage yet, but I have this little HTML page that loads all the users. All right, so that's what we have so far. And then, but this one right now only shows a kind of a template student view, student information that you can edit and then add and delete. All right, but what we can do now is try to do something different. I will change a different topic and maybe something more practical. All right, so normally I like to use the JSoup as a tool to help us to do some kind of interesting things. All right, so if you remember one time when I was talking about the build to Maven, I was introduced this JSoup library that allows you to script the web pages. So I'm going to demonstrate a very quick and simple data scripting example, and then see how we can integrate that with our service. Okay, so let me actually remind you about this JSoup. And if you guys remember this one, we go to JSoup, and here this example we showed you before, and now we use this example to show you how you can do the Maven dependency, right? This is the dependency. I'm going to copy this one again. I will put it to the POM file. Right, and then do I have this one? Yeah, I don't have this one yet. So I'm going to put this dependency. I'm going to save it. All right, so this is going to give me the dependency. Now I'm going to do a quick test. Okay, I'll run this one here. I'll do a JSoup test. All right, so I'm going to go back to run this example. All right, so this one, grab the Wikipedia page and then print the title, statement, as well as printing the some of the links, the title, and the URL. Okay, so this one I'm going to serve the exception. All right, so let's run this program here. Okay, so it actually opened the Wikipedia homepage and I found out the one specific section and then print the title, the URL associated with it, with certain of those bold text that has a hyperlink. All right, so that's what they do for scripting web pages. But let's do something more, practical. Okay, so one good use case of scripting is a lot of people like to use this one to script the e-commerce website like Amazon, eBay, those website. You can do, for different purposes, to track the price, to set the alarm on some of the pricing, availability, all of those. Sometimes people track the comments, and you can do a lot of those things. There is one site called Camel. This one here. I don't know if you've seen this one. And then I don't know who built this one, but then they were tracking all the items. I don't know, not all, but most of the items in Amazon, and they can see the pricing. Okay, so let's actually search, for example, something like a mask. All right, and then if we find something here. All right, so you could actually see the pricing change over the past. This is okay, so past 2 months. I don't know how. Okay, maybe this product they only there for 2 months, and you can see the change from 20 and then it go to up 25 and come back and now go to 15. So the Amazon pricing actually changes frequently. All right, so that's the reason they can do that is actually they're not officially a part of Amazon, but then they just go ahead and track the price every day. And then in order to do this large scale, they actually will use this kind of web scraping library. Okay, so we're going to demonstrate how you can use scraping library to track things like this, product information, images, and also the pricing. Okay, so that's basically the concept. And then I'm not going to use Amazon. Okay, Amazon is very difficult these days to script. It's still possible, but I'm going to switch to eBay for now. Okay, because it's a lot easier. The reason Amazon is difficult is that Amazon has a lot of things that prevents you from scraping. Okay, and then they use all different approaches based on your IP, based on the way you send the request, based on the headers and everything. It is still possible to script Amazon. It's just not as easy as before. Okay, every once in a while you will find some old approach that works don't work anymore. But eBay, on the other hand, is still pretty easy to script. It looks like they don't really do much about preventing you from scripting it. And that kind of shows the popularity of the two e-commerce sites, since everybody is using Amazon and more hackers are targeting Amazon. So that's why I'm not too surprised that they don't do much. Okay. eBay, if we're talking about 10 or 15 years ago, these are like two most like the biggest e-commerce companies. And now eBay is almost, I don't know who's using it. Okay, so it's pretty much almost gone. And they are, one important thing you can see is, well, eBay is still just doing the same thing, not much changes. And Amazon has been doing so much more stuff. Okay, cloud computing, their Kindle devices. And they recently opened some Amazon Fresh stores. I don't know, have anyone been there? Have you seen any of those news from social media? They opened some of the stores, Amazon Fresh, and you have this very cool card that you can scan and pay there. I think definitely looks very cool. All right, so Amazon definitely is much more innovative. All right, so I'll say it's a great company to join, and you can learn quite a lot. All right, back to here. Okay, let's still use the same example mask. Okay, and I want to track all the pricing and everything. Now here's the site that has all of this product information. It's a lot. Okay, so let's see if we can find the information from the HTML page, and then we can use the program to do it. So let's give it a try. So normally the way you do it is you right click here and then try to, let's start from the pricing. Okay, I'm going to focus on the pricing and I'm going to inspect. Okay, I'm going to inspect this one here. All right, and then inspect the pricing. Let me scroll down here. All right, inspect. So this is where we store the pricing. It's under this thing called a span, and looks like there is a range. All right, and then this span is under this division called small as item details primary. Okay, and then if you also see the other part, you can probably find that this is the this one is the title. The title is the under H3. So it is S item title, S item title has tag, something like this. All right, so if you have some of those, things will become very easy because you got a very unique ID for you to script. All right, so I'm gonna try this title first because this one looks a lot easier. Okay, because they have this specific tag. Okay, so let's try that. So first of all, I'm gonna get this page link here. Go back to let me do some tests. So I'm going to script this page specifically about mask. All right. And then I'm going to run everything and I'm going to select, H3. And then H3 should have this tag here. And I can't remember the syntax, but let me give it a try. Okay. So it might be doing something like this. Let me delete this one first. So I'm going to call it title divisions. link. Okay. Yeah, let me just print this whole thing. Okay, see what happens. All right. So what I'm trying to do, as you can see, I open this link, this page, and then from all the HTML code, I'm trying to select all the H3 tags that has a class name called sitem title. All right, so let me run this one. And then if we got it, we can iterate everything and then print it out. No, so we got, looks like we got a title, but then we're not getting any of those. I don't know if it's something about here. Okay, so let me look at the syntax very quick. I can't remember. Okay, so image. Oh, yeah, you just need to connect them. This one. All right, let me try this again. All right, so guys, as you can see, I can print this the page title and then all the H3 tags. So it looks like these are all the titles. All right, and then if you only want to have the tags, I think there's something for the tags. Yeah, this is the one. All right, so I'm gonna try this, and then it will just print out all the tags title. All right, so as you can see, the first one is a 5 PS face mask, man, woman. See here. The first one is this one. Somehow it actually missed this first one. It doesn't matter. Okay, we'll just assume that they're together. All right, so that's how you can get title. So get all the titles. Let's use a similar approach. I'm gonna get the price. Okay, the price, as we saw before, it was under this span as item price. So I'm gonna use exactly the same approach to iterate the whole page. Price, divisions. Right, and then as item price. Okay, so let's print out this one here. Oh, it's not S3, it's H3, it's span. Okay. This one here. All right, so as you can see, we got this pricing also afterwards. Let's see if they're matched. Okay, the first one, 2.9528. Yeah, I think they're matched. That's the first one. Perfect. And then we can get one more thing. We can also grab the images. Okay, the images must be a URL. So I'm going to right click here and then extract this image. All right, so the image right here, and then they also have a very specific class name. Okay, this one is so easy to script, and they don't do any kind of a thing to prevent us from scripting. So this is the image, and then it's called here. And then for the image, we are going to get the attribute because we care about that image URL. So the URL is called source, src. Right, so that's how we can get image. Let's try it. I'm gonna run this whole thing here. All right, so as you can see, we got a title first, images, pricing, and the images. All right, for images, if you want to test it, I'm going to copy one of this and then go to here. All right, so that is the image. All right, so that's how you can script the page. All right, very quick example. So what I'm going to show for the example for the web service, I'm going to use this example here. Okay, I got all the pricing information. an image. I want to show it as web service. Just assume that I'm going to build, let's say, a mask tracking service that you go there, it will show you right now it's top 30 masks product in eBay, and then with all the pricing and title information. And with that, you can also do some other things. All right. But then today I want to focus on where you want to start. How do you do backend and front end? In general, I think you should start from backend first because that's where it provides you the data. You need to make sure you save the data first. Otherwise, there's not much you can do for the front end. You can start a template of front end, but it's very hard to test anything if you don't have a real concrete backend API for you. And then for the backend, we also talk about that you have your APIs. We showed you about those. I think a lot of you already built this one. Just some kind of path that this will be the one that front end will be calling. But then also, if you look at these specific URLs, they're mostly using some of the Java class functions to process the data you want. So there are some other layers closer to the database part, okay, about the data, about how you manipulate the data. So in other words, we can think of this whole system as 3 tiers. Okay, we got a front-end tier, we got a web service, the middle tier, this is this middle tier. And then we got a bottom tier, which deals with data directly. And then in general, you should actually start with the bottom data part. Okay, you need to think about what the data is, and then what kind of operation you want to do with the data. And then you expose those data through the URLs in the web controller or some other mechanism you're using depending on the web development framework. And then once you got a whole backend, then you can then move on to the front end. Okay, so let's try that. So that's why I normally suggest that you go to build some kind of data first. Okay, so in our case, we're storing the mask data, and then you do need to have a class. All right, so I'm going to create a class, really simple. Mask. All right, and then it has 3 attributes. We got a title, price. We also have the image. Right. So these are very basic data class. Okay, you must have this one. I know some of the JavaScript, maybe you don't need to build a class explicitly, but if you can, it's always a good practice to really precisely model the data you want to process. Okay, so we got these 3 attributes. And then we're gonna work on how do we, retrieve the data and then, return the data, right? So I'm gonna move up to another layer that I'm gonna build something called the data provider. Just like how we actually provide the user's data. If you read this code and says we can get user, update user, delete user, we can list all the users. And you need to have a specific class that deals with this kind of data processing. But then this class is not directly called by the front end. It's called through the web controller from the middle tier. All right. And then this one also uses the interface. All right. To follow the same style, I'm going to create another interface. I'll call this one mask product provider. All right. So this one, I'm going to just do a very simple thing here. Just give you a list of list all mask product. Okay, that's the only function I want to build for now, okay, just to show you all the masks. And I'm not going to use the database since I can script the things from the website. So I'll skip the database part, just let you to focus on this whole development process from bottom up. Okay, I finished the data part and now work on the provider. Provider, this is the interface. So I'm going to build a concrete implementation, mask product provider. I'll call it eBay mask product provider. All right, so this one implements that interface. Here, you need to add the method. So this is where you need to work on how do you find this all product. In general, in your case, you probably have a database you can just directly use. That's good. Here, I'm not going to build a database. I will just show you this quick example where we grab the data from JSoup. So I'm going to use this one. Use this one to grab it, but I need to return a list of mask product, right? So I need to build a list of mask product. And then this one here, I probably need to just catch. All right. Now with this, I can then start to, every time when I don't need a title anymore, every time when I get this, I need to save those attributes, okay? And this is not a very good way I put the code here because I iterate them 3 times. And then what I can do is I'll just create 10 masks and then fill in the attributes, 3 times. Okay, so all right, so I'll do this. Okay, I'm gonna see. I think this page has about a lot, right? So this one has more than 20. I'm gonna grab the top 20. Okay. Right. And then we're gonna create a 20 mask product. For now, it's empty. Every time when I grab those, all right, I will need to just use a for loop. Yeah, it's kind of oh, you know what? Yeah, this part of the implementing not very good. Okay, I'm gonna use a different approach. I probably will save them separately. Okay, I'll save them as strings. This will be the title list. Yeah, this way I don't need to worry about the title list. We got a price list. And we also got the image list. All right, so that way, as you're doing that, I can just add all of this one by one. So add this one here. This list. Finally, the image list. All right, by doing this, I save all those attributes into 3 lists. And all I need to do is at the end is I can just let me put them together. Once this is done, I will need to iterate them again. So let's say I'm going to take the top 20. Okay, so in this case, I will need to create this specific mask product class. And then I need to set all the attributes. Okay, mask.set title. And I'm going to use the title list. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Mask.set price list. And then mask.set image URL. So the image list 0 I. Okay, all right. So to recap this one, okay. So I'm using the JSoup to grab those, but because the way I wrote the JSoup, I get all the titles, I got all the prices, and I got all the images. So I need to merge them together into one object. So that's why I saved them into the list. And then finally, I just iterate the top 20 and then form a, every time when I form a mask object, I set a title, price, and image, and then add them to the list. And then finally, this list should have everything, right? So that's how you implement this part here. Okay, when this logic is done, all right, so we can test it. All right, so then I'm gonna move up to the web controller, all right? Just like how you grab the users, list all the users, okay? I am gonna create another method called CS4800. I'm gonna do a mask list, a new URL, and then list all mask. And in this case, you will need the class I just wrote. So I'm gonna create something here. Private, this is called a mask product provider. And then I don't think I talk about auto-where, but I'm gonna put this on here. I'll talk briefly about it. Okay. So here is mask product provider. And then with that, I can just call here, list all mask products. So this is going to return everything, and then return type should be the mask product, which is a list. Okay, so we got everything here. All right, so this part is easy to write because you have all the bottom layers done. Then all you need to do is declare this provider and just call it provider. Now, the only thing missing right now, if I try to run this, okay, we define this one, but then we have not instantiated. You see, normally you probably need to do something like this because this is a interface, and then you just implement it like this. You can still do this, or you can put that into the constructor. Either way is fine. Now, this time we're not doing this one, and then we actually did a auto wire. Now, when you see this, it actually means that you need to provide the instantiation, the instance from a different place. Okay, so if you go back to the app class, now you see something like here called a bin. And then this method here just simply returns you a certain instance. And then this is how you create an instance. And then the Spring will map this instance here to the places where you mark like auto-where. Okay. So I'm going to create something similar. I'll show you this example. So I'm going to create something called a mask product provider. So I'm going to use this eBay. All right. So we're marking this one as bin, and then this one is simply return the instance. Okay. So you return this one here. Once you mark the bin, as I mentioned, the way Java Spring works is it actually automatically map it to this thing called auto-where. It check the type because this one need a mask product provider, and then it will go to anywhere that marks the bin to see if there are any kind of matching type. That's how you can send the instance. All right. Now the reason they do this is just to simplify the way you instantiate the class, because at one point you might change the type. Okay. So for example, right now we're doing the eBay mask provider, and then what if later on you change to Amazon or you change to some other site? By doing this one, you only need to change it once. However, if you directly write it here, okay, you do new eBay. This way it's fine, but then you have to go back here to change. The issue is you might have a lot of this kind of instantiation across your whole source code. Then you have to change every single place. Okay, so that's a problem. That's why you have this kind of auto-where annotation that deal with this. Okay, but I don't think you have this one in JavaScript or some other frameworks. But then for Java specifically, this is a very good practice. Okay. All right, so with that, I'm gonna run this application, okay? Run it again, see if that URL works. Oh, I already have one running, so I need to stop the other one. Try this. All right, so we need to test this new URL. It's called CS4800/mask/list. All right, so it looks like it's working. Okay, so this one directly returns me the list of object, and every object you can see their title, okay, their price, and also their image URL. They're nicely formatted into the JSON format because I put them into an object, and then Java is able to convert object directly to JSON. All right. So with that, you kind of finish your backend, because now your backend nicely returns you the content of the data with JSON, and then the front end will be able to call this one and then render it. All right. So any questions so far based on what we have? You know, if you think about your web application, you know, deal with a lot of the functions with data. Inventory is all about data, so that's why, you know, I would recommend you start with your data object data class to see what you're storing, what are the attributes, and then you can later on map those to the APIs and the URLs. Once you have the URL ready like this, and all you need to do is to build a front end to call them. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the front end. Now I'm gonna just borrow the same kind of page I built for the this one, Home.js, using Angular.js. Again, it doesn't matter if you use React or other things, it's all the same. So I'm gonna open this page. I'm gonna make a copy, okay? This one here, it has a good template, okay? So I'm gonna make a copy. I'll call it home ask. All right. So let's open this one in editor. It's very hard to read, so I'm gonna open this one with system editor. No. Okay, so it's frozen here. All right, I gotta stop this one again. I'm not sure what happens. Let me see if I can open it directly from here, so that's easier. All right, so that is the code. Okay, let me restart Eclipse. All right, so as you can see, this HTML code, okay, pretty easy. Just have all the 3 tables actually. There's one table to create, one table to list. This is to list, this is to create, and this one to query. Just use 3 tables. Right, that's what you saw here in this web page. Here, let me rerun this application. Oh, that was another one running. Yeah, looks like we didn't stop the other one. That's gonna be a problem. Let's see if I can stop from here. Check to stop it. I don't know if this command works here. Okay, it does, but it's not running. Interesting. Let me try this again. All right, that's kind of that. Let me see if I can change a port, or we need to see how do we force close a port. Okay, Mac force close port. All right, so let's try this. If that works. So you're searching for this port. Oh, they found this process. That's good. Okay, so sudo q-9. All right, so looks like this one works. So we'll try to run this again. All right, now works. So yeah, that's what I mean. Okay, anytime you don't know what to do, just search, and if you're interested, take a look at what this command does. It looks like it's just trying to search the port number, but you don't need to spend too much time on that. And then let's come back to the web page. Okay, so coming back, if you are running this local host and then this page, so these are the 3 tables I mentioned, right? So from the HTML page. So we're going to, I only need one. I just want to list everything. So I'm going to delete all the others just to make it very, very simple. Okay. So I'll get rid of add and query. I don't need it right now. I only need one table. And also I don't need this part here, just to make it really simple and straightforward. So I'm going to go back to change the home mask. Okay. And I have to refresh this. All right, so I just get rid of all the others. Okay, so I'll add a little title, mask, real time checker. Refresh, go back. And the title we don't need. Okay, so that's it. All right, so we got our table here, but then we don't need all of it. We only have 3 attributes: title, we got what else? Price and image, right? So only need 3. So we can change this one here to be title, price, image. And then we don't need the other 2. Okay, so I'm still going to use AngularJS. Now, in order to do AngularJS, you will need to use another JavaScript file, which is similar to this one. Okay, so I'm going to make a quick copy of this file. I'll call it home-mask.js. All right, I'll follow exactly the same thing, except I change some of the name. This one will be a mask controller. And then I don't have all the get, add, delete stuff. I'll only have a load list. And this is where you call this API, okay? In your framework, whatever you use, you should also have a way to call the URL. So I'm calling this one with a mask list, okay? This is the URL I showed you here, guys. This is the one that, okay, I just deleted. So basically, this one. And you call it, it's going to get all the mask information and return you as a JSON object. So you're going to get all the data. So I'll call make this one as a mask list. Okay, I'm going to return it. again, I'm not going to dig into too much about AngularJS, but then all we're trying to do here is try to call this function called load users. Oh, I need to change this one to load masks. Okay, so that makes more sense. And then you load masks, and then it's going to call this URL. That's going to return all JSON data, and you're going to send it to the mask list. Once you have the mask list, you can then use this one here. So this one here is called a mask, and to iterate everything in the mask list. And I'm going to do a mask title mask dot price. Finally, you got mask dot image URL. Okay, so let's do one more test, see if that works. Okay, I'm going to refresh everything here. Refresh. So it's not working. So let's actually take a look. Anything wrong here? There's no error information, right? So let's actually see. Oh, because in this one here, we are using the old JavaScript file. So we need to go to call this one home mask. All right. So I'm importing this new AngularJS file into this file here. Okay. So let me try this one more time. I gotta refresh Eclipse here. Go to browser, refresh. One more time. Oh, one more thing. Because I changed that one into mask controller. So this one should be a mask controller. All right, so this should be the last bug I have. Okay, refresh. One more time. Okay. All right, guys. So now you see this new front end has been built. So we got this title here, and then price. Finally, the image URL. And then with this, it's very easy to show just image instead of URL, right? So if you go to the HTML page, and I can do an image source. In this case, I think it's maybe it will be just like this. Let me just put it here just to be safe. Okay. All right, so I put this source into the image tag. Refresh. Go to here, refresh. All right, so you got images also shows up. Looks much nicer, right? So this is kind of a end-to-end development, okay? Bottom layer data class and all the way to a front-end API, and then front-end build a page to load all the API. The only thing missing is if you want to make this page looks nicer, okay, this one is using plain HTML, doesn't look very good. And then my suggestion is to use something like a Bootstrap. Okay, so for web development, this is probably something you need to use. You must use. Every website probably use this one. So it actually summarizes all the templates, the icons, everything for you to use, and you don't have to redo all the CSS by yourself. Okay, so if you want to use this one, you need to install some of those. Okay, you need to install CSS and JavaScript, and is there a way that we can just install everything together? Bundle, this is all right, looks like these two are the most important. Okay, let me just copy this too. I will put them into the front. Okay. Again, why the jQuery? The other one is Bootstrap. So if you got this, and then you can start to use, let's actually try and see if that works first, okay? It's still gonna give you some new styles for you to use directly. So I go back here, let's refresh the page. No, I don't think that works. Is anything wrong? No, that's just all right. This is jQuery. Oh, this is GS. No, sorry, I didn't incorporate the CSS. I need the CSS as well. All right, so it should be this one here. Fresh. Yeah, as you can see, this time the style looks slightly different. All right, so that's applying the Bootstrap style. So with this, you can then go to, for example, I want to decorate a table, and then you can see the table, how they're doing that one here. So you can just say, oh, I want to use the Bootstrap type of table, and you're going to apply this class called table. It's really easy. Everything's done in the class. So I'm going to change this one into class table. All right, so I'm going to do this one. Now I go back. Okay, refresh. Go to the page. All right, so as you can see, this one kind of get rid of the borders, some of the lines here. That's the type, the style they provided. So let's see other styles. You can choose a dark theme. Oh, this looks nice. You can do light, dark, and then light for the rows. So let's see, table. Oh, just mark the thread as a dark. So this is good. We can try this. Only mark this part as dark. Okay, so let's apply a couple of others. The table stripe, this one looks nice. Let's add this one. All right, so I'm gonna save, go back here, and then refresh this one first, otherwise it won't be loaded. All right, now coming back here, refresh one more time. Stripped. I don't know if the stripped overload the dark thing, but this one is the new thing, right? And then looks, I don't know if this one is even mobile responsive. Okay, let me try. If you like open this one in a mobile device, kind of, okay, yeah, kind of give you a good, nice view. All right. Other things, so Bootstrap, you can do quite a lot of things. Okay, I don't know what others we can do here. Table bordered, there are board and there are also the hover. Let's add a hover thing. All right, as you can see at the mouse I'm moving, I can just have this kind of effect. All right. So that's how you can do this. All right. A little bit more on the front end, but then if you're not sure about how to build your own UI, Bootstrap definitely something you can use, or you just get a template. That's another approach. Very difficult to build everything from scratch by ourselves, but using some of this library can help you. All right, so any questions so far? Yeah, absolutely. The AngularJS and also the Bootstrap definitely take some time to learn. But isn't too bad. I mean, learning those is okay, but sometimes when you start use that, there are a lot of bugs, everything. Definitely takes a lot of time to to get familiar with. All right, and then finally, you need to build this new version. Okay, let's go through that one more time. I'm going to show you next time the continued integration approach, but this time, go back. If you test everything, it works here. Now we're good. Now let's do a Maven package. All right, so this time I got an error here. Now you need to read this one carefully. It looks like it's component unable to find a single main class. Okay, because we do have another main method. So this one here, that caused a problem. So I don't need this anymore. I can just get rid of it. All right, I'm gonna stop this server here, go back, run the package again. All right, so that generated jar file, go to the target folder to check it. And then it's better to just run it. All right, so once you run it, you can go back here, refresh it, and then it works again. Okay, so let me actually find my EC2. I forgot if I shut it down or not. Maybe it's still there. Why do we need this? All right, I don't know when this one was enabled. Let me find the tags. So it's 828. All right, and then go back to my EC2. Yeah, I think I stopped it. This is the server I was using. Yeah, this is the server. So let me restart it. Okay, go to the status, start instance. Okay, so this one is gonna take a little bit of time. Once it starts, then I can just SCP and rerun everything. Okay, so that's it. All right, so that kind of demonstrate the whole process of development from backend to frontend. Obviously, I ignore the database part, but then the steps remains the same. All right, looks like this is running. Let me try it. To dash user, add here. Yeah, they're pretty fast right now. It takes only 20 seconds to start a server. Okay, so SCP password, your key, and then this is the file you're gonna copy, and then copy it over for this server. I'll put it into the home folder. Okay, hit enter, and then that's gonna trigger the copy. All right, and then once you copy, I will log in. Look at the file, and that just happened today. This is the updated file. So no hoop java-jar CS4800 here, and then get all the output, and then run it in the background. All right, so now you can go to the server, try to visit it. All right, and then do home mask.html. All right, so that server is also running. Oh, I don't know why the other one was so huge. Okay, I'm probably, yeah, that's why it looks very weird. Yeah, it should be something like this. Okay, it just looks a lot better. Okay, I don't know if the port redirect still works. Probably need to redo it. Yeah, you have to redo the port redirect. All right, so now you finished development and also deployment. All right, as I mentioned, next time we will need to connect all of it together so that you can automatically push your changes to the server consistently. All right. Okay, that's good to know that the WinSCP. Yeah, well, yeah, that's the WinSCP is for SCP specifically for Windows. Definitely, it's easier to use, but then you need to set up the key and everything. All right, so that's what I want to share today. Okay, any questions so far? And any issues with your project you want to discuss?
Professor,
Yes.
I had some questions about my team specifically, some backend issues we're running into. Can I ask them after class?
Yes, we can. Yeah. You can definitely also, if you need to share a screen and everything, that also works. Okay. So I'm going to stop recording.